I wasn't sure how many people are joining, so it would just be easier for us to keep track. So we'll use the chat feature, and we'll start with the PowerPoint presentation. And please note that everything changes just about every day. And what I did last night, and literally the finishing touches on midnight's PowerPoint, was changed this morning when I met with Mike Goyer at 8 o'clock, right, Mike? So it's a very fluid plan, and every day we add more and more details. But certainly this is not the end all be all. There'll be lots of opportunities for discussion. And by the end of this week, we should really have some tight plans and really put some of this pen to paper so that we have a plan rolling out at the end of this week. So let me share my screen. Sharon, how come it's not letting me? Host disabled sharing screen. You should be a co-host. It's not letting me. Do you want to share yours? Yeah. All right, Sharon's going to share my PowerPoint since I can. Let's see. Okay. Can you go up to present and then just click on that little dash in the left corner to get the just get the can you get the people's faces off? Click on the top. Can you do that? Or is that this? Okay. Now just hit present on the top right corner next to share. It says present on the pull that down. Present. Okay, click. I'll just tell you when to click. Oops.
This one's scheduled.
Right? No, back. Yep. Okay. All right. Sorry, everybody. Okay. So schedules. The day will be for the elementary day will be 8 to 2:30, as it traditionally is. Middle school will be 8 to 3:17, as that usually is. The difference here this year will be the arrival and pickup, which will shorten our school day. So all teachers will be in the classroom ready to accept students at 8 a.m. Oh, can you back up? Okay, so everybody will be in the classroom 8 a.m. waiting for students. The first bus will show up at 8 a.m. with our students. And right now, again, this was last night, and things definitely have changed today. We were waiting on the surveys. We've asked that parents, whoever can, to drop off your students so that that would limit the amount of students on the bus. Right now, we are confirming how many students will be dropped off by their families. And originally, we thought we would have to have 2 bus runs, one at 8 o'clock, and then the second run coming in anywhere between 9 and 9:15. So we were anticipating that it may take an hour and a half to get all students into the school if we had to have the 2 bus runs, okay? So at that point, we started scheduling that no academic, new instruction content area, middle school period 1 that we wouldn't start until 9:30. You can switch. So, oh, back. So, a big thank you to Jim Worthington, Mike Goyer, for your countless hours of running these scenarios. Even this morning, we were running numbers every day to see how many students we can fit on the buses. So we asked parents to provide transportation if at all possible. Right now, with our best guess, we could say we could run 20 to 22 students on a 67-passenger bus with siblings sitting together. We could do a few more. So instead of running buses, at first Mike was looking at running K5 and then 6-8 for a second run. Then we started looking at if we ran by families, could we get more students in a seat? So again, we've been playing with lots of different scenarios, not knowing the final numbers of how many were going to take the bus or not. So we had originally planned on 2 bus runs with 375 kids. We would definitely need the 2 bus runs, the 8 o'clock and the 9:15. If 50% of the parents drove, it may be possible to get everybody here at 8, okay? So the parents dropping off, we would assign groups for drop off. That certainly would take some time with half the parents dropping off. On the back, again, for transportation, masks are required in order to ride the bus, must be wore throughout the entire bus ride. Next. So here are the responses to our survey. So this was as of this morning. We have 245 families. We had 239 responses. Some had taken them more than once, so we had to really look at Kathy Fazioli going through. Thank you, Kathy, if you're out there, making a lot of calls. I think she called 70, 80 families today. We're really just trying to confirm how many plan to use the bus or not. So at this point, it looks like we have that 50% threshold for driving in the morning. We'll be confirming that. You can switch. Nope.
There we go.
So at this point, it looks like we could possibly have 1 bus run coming in at 8 o'clock in the morning. And again, that was Mike Goyer working up till all hours by this morning, coming up with, okay, this really could work. 1 drop off at 8 o'clock, which again, our goal is to get as many students safely in the building as close to 8 o'clock as possible so that they can start their instruction. So what does that mean? 50% of families can drive. That is amazing. Thank you, thank you. I know that is definitely an inconvenience, so we appreciate that. You know, well over 100 families are planning to drive in. So if we look at that, you know, 190 students are coming in on the bus, and then 190 are driven in by their families. What does that even approximate for cars? Is it 100 cars? You know, that's what we really need to find out. How many cars will be coming up East Ave? You and I both know drop off is quite hairy on a great day. So with 100 cars coming up, we certainly would have to structure and plan that out. We're looking at, you know, between 8 and 8:45 just for parent drop-offs, using the bus loop and the drop-off that we do now using the fire lane, just to see how many students we can get in here before 8:45. Really, we would have till 9 o'clock. Teachers will not even be starting to plan for elementary instruction until 9, having that first hour be a tutorial, enrichment, just using the time to work in the small groups until the whole class is there. Families would be asked to come 1 time, no matter what grade level. I know in a letter I wrote a couple days ago, my thinking was maybe pre-K and kindergarten can start later, only because I'm worried about them having a hard time detaching right away or needing a little extra time. But I think that to help that situation, it might be that families are pulling into the spots here and then we're taking the time. But if you know, again, we're going to try to accommodate every family. We appreciate that you're driving in. So if you need to be one of those first drop off because you have to get to work and you need your pre-K student and 6th grader to get here at 8:05, 8:10, we are going to accommodate that. I'm assuming, hopefully, naturally it'll work out that some will want a little bit of a later drop off, but we're going to do our best to contact you and to come up with a drop off plan so your family comes up in 1 car at 1 point in the morning. We will be ready to take the temperature checks right at the car. As students get off the bus, they'll have a temperature check. There'll be an adult at every bus so that we can efficiently get the students off, temperatures checked, logged, and they can get into the building. We'll do the same thing with the cars. The temperature checks in the car. If they're okay, they come out, enter the building, and adults will escort the students in. If they do have a temperature, then you will just keep on driving right back home. But hopefully that does not happen. Sharon. Okay. Now the pickup times, again, this is going to be hairy as well. Not as many families are picking up at the end of the day, which was to be expected. So the pickup time for pre-K through 5th grade, we are anticipating, again, to give you 45 minutes to safely come in between 1:45 and 2:30 using the bus loop and the student drop-off. Buses will be here anywhere between, typically the first bus can come at 10 after 2, the last one leaving at 2:30. We would have 2 loops going on of traffic once the buses leave as well. And the drop off, again, what we see is parents pulling up, not getting out of their cars, and the children will be walked to meet you at your car. Again, whether this is a sign in your car with the last name that we see it coming, we radio in, we release the student, come out to the car, all that's being worked out, some final plans, but we are trying our best so that parents are not getting out of your car, you're not gathering out front, we're not releasing kids to a herd of people out there that just is unsafe. So we are going to try to do our best to do kind of like a drive-up window at a drive-through and hand you your kid safely in your car and you drive off. It sounds nice, but that's what we aspire for. So I put it here at the bottom. If 6th graders happen to fit in on a 2:30 bus run, we would love that to happen and we could release them as well. But Mike is not thinking that those numbers will work. And again, we want to have a safe number on the buses. 22 students fit, 1 to a seat. When we work with siblings, it looks like we can get up to 30 students on a bus, but again, that's siblings sitting together. There are less families able to come at the end of the day, so it looks like we will definitely have to have that second bus run for middle school. The reason I say 6th graders could leave at 2:30 if we could accommodate is because there will not be band and chorus at the end of the day, and that's usually what 9th period is for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. With the restrictions on band and chorus and needing 12 feet of spacing, we just did not think it was safe to pull off at this time. So we will not have that band or chorus. We would fill it with some PE, some art, some other special areas. So there was that potential that 6th graders could leave if they could. If not, they will stay for perhaps Spanish or, again, another special area. So as you see, this changes minute by minute. Last night at midnight, I thought there were 2 drop-offs in the morning, and today it looks like because of all the generosity of all the parents and handling the transportation, we can do 1 bus run. And again, the sooner we can get kids here and get them back in school and get them learning, the better. So that's great. Sharon. Okay, PPE equipment. So we have lots of hand sanitizer, literally thousands and thousands of bottles. We have it available in the hallways, in the classroom, and common areas. Students have little individual bottles at their desk. A big shout out to Rensselaer County Department of Health for helping us to secure our PPE. This was huge. Hand sanitizer, masks, shields, disinfectant wipes. As you know, in the grocery store, these things are scarce, and many districts are having a difficult time securing the PPE. We have enough. It could be that could last us for the entire school year. That's how big the order was. Department helped us, stepped up, helped us secure this large order and actually paid for it up front because who we got this from needed to be paid up front, and school districts can't do that. So the department stepped in and really helped us out. So I can't say enough how secure and safe I feel knowing that we have what we need. There are some districts that are very, very much scrambling and perhaps delaying the start of school because they don't have what they need. They don't have the mask or the hand sanitizer. So Gardner-Dickinson is set and literally set for just about the entire year. So I'm thrilled about that. So face masks. This is a question that has come up many times. Face mask protocols are being developed and will be posted this week. Thank you, Patrick Parator, our safety consultant, on everything he's done to help us really put pen to paper all of these protocols and procedures so that you have a very clear understanding of what's happening here at Gardner-Dickinson. All students and employees will have to wear a cloth face mask or face covering while working around the district at all times. There will be designated mask breaks during this day when students are seated 6 feet apart. The breaks, in addition to lunch, will be provided at least every hour for approximately 10 minutes in length. So again, masks will be worn at all times and everywhere, even in the classroom during instruction. There will be breaks when it is safe, but masks will be worn at all times. Social distancing, we have another protocol coming out just so that we are clear with what we are doing here. All students will always be a minimum of 6 feet apart in the classrooms, in the hallways, everywhere in the building, 12 feet during physical education or when singing and music. Music will be pushed in the classroom and the desks are 6 feet apart, so they will not be able to sing. In the classroom, it will be more technology-based music. On a nice day, the music class, they can go outside, they can sing to their heart's content if they are outside 12 feet apart. So hopefully the weather stays nice so we can do some of that. Hallways will be marked with directional arrows and other markings to indicate one-way traffic, student positioning. Students will be asked to walk 6 feet apart. Again, waiting to use the bathroom, the classroom. We just recently purchased a ton of signage for the floors, for out front, even, getting off the buses. That's something that I'm definitely worried about. How does a kindergartner or first grader understand what 6 feet is when, that's hard for adults to do. So there is plenty of signage for the floors, arrows, direction, one-way traffic. So all of that is coming in the next 2 weeks, which will be great. Bathroom use will be monitored by adults so that no more than 2 students are in the bathroom at any given time. So we will be creating bathroom breaks, a schedule for bathrooms. There'll be a monitor in each hallway. If a student has to go to the bathroom, we're really going to watch that in every grade level so that students aren't congregating in a bathroom at any time. Lunch, recess specials, breakfast and lunch will be delivered to the classroom and all students will eat at their desk. Recess will be outside every day when possible. With the weather, we hope it stays nice for a very long time, but students will be outside. Their teachers will be taking them outside. They will be staying in their pods. So again, lunch will be in the classroom, but teachers will take them outside in their group. And at this point, the groups of students, the classrooms will not mix. They will not mix on the playground or outside. They would be playing outside, but in their pod. They would stay in their pod the entire day. Art, music, library, push into the classroom. Again, I talked about singing. They would have to be outside if they were doing some singing. PE, again, outside to the greatest extent possible, 12 feet apart in the gym. We will have floor signage, little stickers for spots in the gym. So if they did want to use the gym, they would have to be 12 feet apart. And I do have stickers so that would make it easier for them to use that gym. Again, even when I see, when it's cold, when it's snowing, I'm going to ask kids to dress. I think as to the greatest extent possible, we need to get them outside. So the 12-foot distancing, again, as I said, aerobic activities, choir, band. Again, that's why we're not having choir and band at this point. We are exploring for the older students who were in band, maybe some one-to-one lessons, 12 feet apart from the music teacher in outside or in her room. But right now we are not attempting to pull chorus or band together. Sanitation, desks, seats will be sanitized between uses. Shared equipment will be sanitized between uses. Again, hand sanitizer will be available everywhere in this building, in the classroom, common areas. Students' hands will be sanitized as they enter the building. High touch areas on the buses will be sanitized between the runs. The district uses cleaning products safe to use in our schools, so we are following all the regulations by the state for the cleaning purposes. Go ahead, Sharon. I want to give a huge thank you to our custodial staff, Andy, Jeff, John, Cole, and Isabel for their amazing job that they're doing right now to get this building ready for us to return safely. I can't even tell you how much they have done in the last several weeks. It's amazing. I've asked them to move the same piece of furniture probably about 50, 60 times, and then maybe to end up back in the same spot. We are just trying to maximize every inch of this building, and they're doing an amazing job. All the classrooms look great. Everyone is spaced out 6 feet apart. We've used every area. It's just great. I just can't say enough of what they're doing here for us. So thank you, thank you. Isabel's our new additional hire for cleaning and disinfecting purposes. So welcome, Isabel. And again, now we have a staff of 5 who is creating an amazing schedule to ensure that high-touch areas, doorknobs, faucets, flush handles, bathrooms, railings, crash bars, everything is sanitized on the hour, every hour. So we're creating schedules. Everybody's in charge of a certain section of the school, hallway, bathroom, to make sure that that is done regularly. So I appreciate that. The rooms, as well as every bus, will be sanitized every night with our new fogger machine, S plural. We are buying a few of them, which cleans, sanitizes, and disinfects with the mist. So each classroom will be done every evening, and each bus will be done every evening as well. Monitoring. So this is where a lot of questions come in. So I just wanted to be clear. I know it's a lot of information. I did post monitoring, testing, contact tracing. Those plans are up on the website. So I just cut and pasted some piece of this in because these questions are, I think, very important to everyone. So all student and staff will have temperatures taken upon entering the building. All staff will complete the COVID-19 questionnaire prior to reporting to work. Visitors will not be allowed in the building unless absolutely necessary, and those visitors must complete the questionnaire and have their temperature checks as well. Staff displaying any symptoms consistent with COVID-19 will leave the school immediately. Students displaying any symptoms consistent with COVID-19 will be isolated until parents can come pick them up. Individuals will then be referred to their primary care provider for evaluation. If the primary care provider determines that symptoms are not COVID-19 related, a note from the primary care provider stating such a diagnosis must be provided in order to return to school or to work. If the primary care provider determines that symptoms are COVID related, testing must occur. If an individual is confirmed, so we have a positive test, isolation protocols will be required for 10 days per CDC guidelines. An individual must be in isolation for 10 days and symptom-free for 72 hours before a release of isolation may be considered. Release from isolation will be determined solely by the Department of Health. A release letter provided by the Rensselaer County Department of Health will be required for return to school. The parents of any student who has tested positive must notify the school district as soon as possible. If this were to occur, the school district will contact the county of residency for confirmation, collaboration, and the beginning contact tracing activities. The district COVID-19 school resource person, Tricia Gibbs, will coordinate with the Rensselaer County Department of Health and start contact tracing procedures. In the event an individual is identified as a confirmed case within the school, the Rensselaer County Health Department will determine the starting date for which the school will need to provide contact tracing information. This date will be 48 hours prior to the individual becoming symptomatic. To this end, the school district will need to keep records that will be made available to the Rensselaer County Health Department for those who may have been in close contact with the confirmed case. Any close contacts will be identified by the Rensselaer County Health Department. Tricia Gibbs, our COVID-19 school resource person, will be asked to assist the county with the quarantine surveillance monitoring of contacts in connection with a confirmed case in a school. If the student or staff member is identified by the Rensselaer County Health Department as a contact, they will be contacted by a county case manager and instructed to quarantine for 14 days. Any contact identified by the Rensselaer County Health Department may not return to school until such a time as they are released from the mandatory quarantine by the case manager. School closure, many of you have been asking about when does school close. The school closure decisions will occur in consultation with the Rensselaer County Health Department. This may involve a closure of a classroom or the entire facility, depending on the quantity of suspected and or confirmed cases. There may not be a need to close the school if the Rensselaer County Department of Health determines that the identified close contacts are excluded from school and the facility may continue normal operations. Full closure of a school facility may be necessary in some situations, but will be implemented on a case-to-case basis. So that is coming right from the Department of Health. They make that call, we call them, they do the assessment, and they tell us if we're closing, what part we're closing, how long we're closing, all of that goes through the county DOH. Okay, let's talk about classrooms. Pre-K, we will run one section of 15 students. Drop off again will be between 8 and 9 o'clock. The program will run from 9 to 2, and pick up again, we could start anywhere between 1:45 to 2:30. I think that drop off and pick up with the program of pre-K will also be the same for K, K through 5. If you look at grades K, 1, 3, 5, and 7, we will hold 2 sections each. In grades 2, 4, 6, and 8, we are running 3 sections. We will use our, for grades 2, 4, and 6, we will use 3 remedial teachers to be a 3rd classroom. And in 8th grade, we will have 3 sections so we can have the enrichment classes. And we will use the 5 core teachers, 2 in 7 and 3 in 8th grade to be the homeroom teachers. And then the teachers will switch for the classes and all the grade levels. That will be true. The teachers switch, not the students. So in grades, just about every grade level now was switching for science and social studies. You may see that one teacher teaches math and one teacher teaches ELA. Just to help with planning purposes. And, you know, we are working in conjunction with, you know, the start of the school within school learning, but also remote learning as well. The new platforms, there's a lot going on. So I think teachers may departmentalize a bit more than they have, especially in grades 2, 4, and 6. There will be 3 sections each. Your child will have each of those 3 teachers. One will teach ELA, one will teach math, and one will teach science social studies every other day. So, you know, for most grade levels, you will get every grade level teacher at some point. They will just be switching around to offer their expertise in the instructional area. More to come on that by the end of this week, I promise. The numbers in the classroom range about 15 to 19, and that would include maybe a couple students who are not coming back that will stay on the roster to be a part of the class. So the class sizes are pretty small. Aspire Classroom, again, we have a new 611 self-contained classroom opening this September, full steam ahead. So a big thank you to the teachers, the therapist, our behavior consultant. They've spent hours and hours here planning, just getting ready, a brand new room, and just making these students such a priority. So I am very excited, a crazy time to start a new program, but I think it's going to be amazing. Remote instruction, lots of questions on this. Every day this changes, and we are working to add more and more details. Our remote plan is now posted on our website. We are going to spend quite a bit of the day tomorrow. Many teachers are coming in to work on this remote plan. How will it work best for students, for the families, for the teachers, trying to juggle coming back to school 5 days a week in the classroom, in school, and then juggling what a remote plan will look like, because we need to plan not only for some of the students who are not returning in the fall, but for the students who are absent, students who, you know, maybe are not feeling good, so parents are going to keep them out, students in quarantine, or in the event that there is a school closure again. And there still is a likelihood that will happen at some point, whether it's for a week or 2 weeks or a month or two. We have to be ready. So when we went into remote instruction last time, it was the first for all of us. And we certainly struggled to figure out what are the best platforms, what is the best schedule, you know, what are our materials, how do we do this? And I think we have learned a ton in the last 6 months, and we really are going to put a remote learning plan together that is seamless. As of today, of our responses, 88% of families are sending their kids back to GD. So that's great, but we are not going to forget that small population that will need to be a part of our class, whether remote or in person. So that's what we are building, 2 programs right now, so that all of our students, no matter where they are going to get the best instruction possible. Next. So let's talk about this a little bit more. We are now a one-to-one school for technology. All students would be issued their own Chromebook for use in the classroom and at any time to support remote instruction. These will be assigned to students. They will have their own. They're not sharing, touching somebody else's. They will all have a Chromebook from pre-K through 8th grade. All teachers will be using Google Classroom to post classroom activities and assignments. That is even when we are in school 5 days a week. Teachers will make it a habit just to keep posting their daily lessons, assignments, recordings, any activities that they're doing, homework assignments. Even when kids are sitting in front of the teachers in school, they might open their Google Classroom, do their writing assignments, just really getting familiar with the Chromebook, using the Google Classroom, and also then having parents able to use it back and forth as we are in school, so that when we transition out, it'll be a seamless transition. And that's really what we're striving to do, is to continue to keep that Google Classroom up right now, even while we're in school. And that way it allows access to those who are, again, not returning or out sick or just needing that remote reinforcement. Google Meetings will be used for direct instruction in all content areas to assist, again, any student who is remote. So the teacher will have Google Meetings set up for ELA, for math, for science, for social studies. In the middle school, it'll be for Spanish. It'll be for special areas. For any child that needs remote instruction, the Google Meetings will take care of that live instruction piece. Will be posted, again, the Google Classroom. So we are continuing to add to this plan, and many more details will be included in this plan by the end of the week, which would include schedules. If we are to go out on remote instruction, again, the schedule that your child will have will pretty much mirror what happens in the classroom. So if math is being taught every day from 9 to 10, 9 to 10 o'clock for 1 hour, you can expect that 9 to 10 o'clock remotely, your child should be on Google Classroom, on a Google meeting with their teacher. So I don't think remote instruction will look very different if we are out again. Okay. Final details, I said, are coming soon. We are very, very busy planning many final details. As I said, bus routes, arrival, dismissal, schedules, in-person and remote, class lists, orientations. And I know that there is a lot that you still don't have information on. I promise you by the end of this week, you will have much more. And the following week, you'll have even more than that. So let me give you, for instance, of today. About 20 different teachers were in volunteering their time today to sit with me and plan out, let me see what we covered today. For 2 hours, we finished the master schedule. We met with special areas. What will that look like in Google Classroom or remote? We met on arrival time, health screening, who's going to do the screening, how will that be, where exactly are we going to stand outside, parent dismissal, how can we get parents safely picking up their students and dropping off. We talked about lunch and recess, bathroom breaks. We literally met from 8 till 3 today, just working out lunch, bathroom, how do we cover the bathroom, how do we get breakfast to the kids? There's so many little details. We had so many ideas, but now it's really coming to what is the final detail? How do we put that in print so we can share that with you? I want you to rest assured that we're thinking of the bazillion details, but it's really hard to come to some consensus and write this all up. So that is our goal this week. Tomorrow I have a whole list of teachers coming in just to build the remote instruction plan. And then in the afternoon, we have a meeting just on class lists. I know many of you are inquiring about class lists. When do we find out who our teachers are? So originally, when we create class lists at the end of the year, I make 2 even lists and I just put a teacher's name, 2 teachers' names on them, and they're 2 balanced lists. Now with going into 3 rooms, maybe we're thinking about doing some ability grouping. It will be very hard to do small group instruction because the kids can't go to a table together in the back, but perhaps we are looking at some ability grouping so that our students who may be at a guided reading together, similar, or are, a group of 3 or 4 students are in the same room and maybe they sit towards the back of the room so that teacher could differentiate. Differentiating is something that we really strive to do. This will just make it a little bit more of an obstacle not to come back to back tables or to have groups within a classroom. So we're going to be looking at class lists a little more closely and our groupings just to make sure that they are balanced, but that they will be effective in whatever it is we're teaching. So class list, again, tomorrow we're meeting. I really hope to solidify this by the end of the week. I think we will even try to do some emails instead of waiting to go through the mail. I know many of you want a classroom teacher. Again, I think I would really bring home the point to your students that they will have every teacher at that grade level. It's really which pod is going to be together in the room that will be staying together throughout the day. But as far as teachers go, they will have every teacher at that grade level, whether it's 2 or 3, because the teachers will be moving around. Let's see, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at my schedule. On Thursday, I have another large group of faculty and staff coming in to plan orientation, open house, and parent trainings. We know that this is going to be tricky. What will that look like? Will it be videos? I know you all want to see the classroom, so I think we're going to have a lot of videos and tutorials posted. I want you to see what it's like in here, but to be safe, we are just going to limit the amount of visitors in, and so we have to figure out how can we have the orientations, especially in the little guys, how do they get to meet their teacher without coming in the building, without some of those pieces that would risk the safety and security of the building. So we are going to do our best to plan lots of different activities and again, some virtual open houses or trainings. We know we have a lot to do. So this week is a lot of planning. By Friday, again, I'm going to try to put many of these details to paper so that, we can start giving you that exact heads up of, what the day will look like, who the teacher is, and what orientations you can look forward to. But we have a lot going on. I know it seems like last minute, it will all come together, trust me. I think there's one more. So just the first day of school for students is September 10th. It was the 8th. We are going to push back to the 10th and use all of our conference days up front so that the teachers, again, we have 4 days to run through drills, run through protocols, schedules, make sure all the technology is working, the computers, everything, and just to be ready. Run some of those bus scenarios, pick up. Mike Goyer said he was bringing a big bus out tomorrow so we can kind of play how many buses fit. Can I get my car by it? So there's lots of trial run-throughs that we will be doing from now until the 10th. So can't wait to see the kids. Can't wait to see you all soon. All right, so that's it for that. So again, tried to capture some of the questions that have come out. Does anybody have questions about anything I just said or something that you want to put in the chat to us?
I have, can you see them?
I cannot see
Okay.
them.
Will students be supervised in the hallway for social distancing?
Oh, Sharon said one just came in. Will students be socially distanced in the hallway? Yes. I feel like it has been a million little stickers that we just purchased in arrows, but everybody will have a spot, and they are blue. And as fun as I could make them, they say Gardner Dickinson, stand here, walk this way. So I think the kids will get a kick at them. They have a little crown, a royal. But they're going to be all over the floors, and everybody will always have to step on a spot. Yes, in the hallways. I got them going upstairs, downstairs, even areas that we don't use a lot. You have to be on a spot. And I hope the kids just kind of have fun with it. Like, you need to be on a spot at all times.
Do we have to notify the district if a non-student, parent, or older sibling that lives in the household is positive?
Do you notify the district if somebody in the house is positive? Yes. Yes. You would need to call the district immediately. We are contacting Department of Health, and they will give us that tape for their the quarantine regulations.
How would you sign your child up for remote learning? Does that require a note from the healthcare provider saying that the child or family member has a health condition that makes them vulnerable?
So there's a question about how do you sign up for remote. If you could just please call me immediately. I would just love to talk to you about the accommodations and what we could provide and to get you on a list. So just email or call me and we can discuss that.
Will fans be allowed in the classroom?
Will fans be allowed in the classroom? Right now, that is a no. A fan, again, this is one of those facility regulations that keep going and changing. The last one I just read this week said a fan cannot blow on one child and that air can't hit the other child. So I don't know how I could possibly make sure that the fan is not hitting two children at once or blowing off one child to the other. So I'm saying no to fans at this time because I don't know how we'd monitor that.
Will the district be notifying families if there is a positive case in a child's home?
So how do we notify? So when we get a positive case, as you see in the plan and what I just read, that goes to the Department of Health, and then they talk to us and they are making the contacts for us and who is notified. That is all through the DOH.
Are you allowed to do remote and change your mind or vice versa?
Okay, this question is a good one. Are you allowed to do remote and then change your mind? So I would ask that anyone that is staying remote now really think about staying remote for at least the quarter. Again, if you started school and you didn't feel safe or anything happened, obviously leaving the classroom is easier than coming back. Some parents have asked if they can come in 1 or 2 days. I'm discouraging that. I think it's just a disruption to the group and to the pod of students. So if you made the decision to stay out and stay remote, I would talk to you about doing it for at least a quarter, just because I think in and out is just too much of a disruption and it's not safe.
The Anchor family would like to thank Dr. Yotis for all the amazing work and the team and the countless hours to make everything happen.
Thank you, Anchors. That was a nice compliment.
And they also volunteered
nice.
to come in and help clean and make things easier, including making you dinner.
You will come in and clean? I love you, Ed. Thank you. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, there's lots of night I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, did I eat today? Oh, no. And it's 9 o'clock. You would think I'd be a lot thinner right now. it's the binging when I get home that's the problem. Stress eating.
We have a parent who's having a hard time keeping their mask on their child's face and didn't know if we would have any tips or helpful.
Yeah, so the mask, this question is, a parent's having a hard time with their little one keeping the mask on. I don't know what to say besides I'm having a hard time keeping the mask on. Building the stamina for this is it's going to be difficult. Today was the first time that I had a large group of teachers here all day long. I had my mask on, my ear was hurting, my glasses are fogging up every second. It was driving me crazy. I think building the stamina, because I've been here alone all summer, it's not often I have the mask on because nobody's here. So I definitely understand that. I think it is something that we are going to have to continue to stress with the students. And many of the students, the children have been home in your little bubbles, and now they're coming into a big bubble of 400 kids. And it is imperative that they keep the mask on the school bus or walking in the hallway. So I think it's a lot of educating. That I understand that we've been lax maybe over the summer with mommy and daddy, but now here at school, like, this is really important. I think it's going to be a lot of tutorial and a lot of just helping. This is how to wear it comfortably. I think it is finding too a mask that works for you. The one I had today was not working for me. I need to find something that's more comfortable. I know the PTA is going to be buying masks for the students. I have, over 40,000 disposable, but when a child comes in and needs a mask, they'll have one. But I think it is buying something that maybe is a fun color, maybe, is comfortable. But I do think it's building the stamina and really showing the importance of wearing the mask. It's just something we have to all get through, unfortunately.
Will there be some traffic control for Winter Street so cars can make a left-hand turn going in and out?
Yeah, so traffic control, will there be traffic control for Winter Street? Definitely, I am calling our friends at the North Greenbush Police. They are going to have to help me. My plan is, I'm running it through my husband, like, how many seconds would it take to unload a car? Let's pretend I'm in a car, like, these best scenarios in my mind are probably not going to work on day 1, day 2, day 3. I know Andy and his crew are going to drop everything and be out there with us directing traffic. Mike Goyer, again, bringing a big bus up tomorrow, hopefully not to sideswipe me, but just to play with what kind of clearance we need for cars. So I volunteer maybe Andy's car or somebody else, but we're going to try to run through every scenario, how many cars fit, how many can go this way, how many can go this way. It'll be entertaining with what we're trying to figure out, but I absolutely will be calling North Greenbush. The first week, I'm not going to have this all right. I'm saying, okay, can we get 20 cars every 10 minutes? Maybe it'll be longer, maybe it'll be shorter. So yes, we are going to plan for all the troops to be out on day 1, day 2, day 3, and hopefully after a week we can adjust some times. And again, I can't thank you all enough for being flexible to figure out with us how to safely drop off and pick up. We are so beyond thankful that you are able to provide half of that transportation so that our buses can be at half capacity. So we are at your mercy too. So we want to make sure that you're not aggravated that you chose to drive. We want to try to make this as seamless as possible, but it'll be a work in progress for sure.
We have a parent who originally planned on driving her boys, but now has got a new job and is unable to.
Okay, so if anything switches that you need transportation and you said you didn't, again, even though you put something in the survey, Kathy made 70 calls today, I'm going to ask her to keep calling. I do want to, before we put, because now what Mike Goyer is going to do is when we get a firm number on every bus, they all have to be in assigned seats. There has to be attendance on the bus. The way they unload and load the buses. So it's really assigned seating. And all of that will have to be finalized very soon. So we will make calls to say, hey, did you really mean that you're going to drive, or did you change your mind? And at any point, again, we expect work schedules change, things happen. Just call the office and let us know immediately so we can assure a safe seat and a spot on the bus.
This person plans on being able to bring their children in the AM, but they would have to take the bus home in the PM.
Yep.
If that's okay?
Yep.
How would you sign up a child? Okay, we did that one.
Okay.
Are you
Same.
able to do remote and change your mind?
Yeah, so we already talked about
Yep.
that.
How many kids who receive AIS services will be handled? Where will they keep their belongings while in the classroom?
Okay, where will you keep the belongings? We are not using lockers. Sharon is actually looking to order. The PTA is going to purchase a what looks like a laundry basket to tie on to the desk so that you can put your coats and you can put your lunch and everything in this laundry basket because really we are not using cubbies or any areas that kids could congregate or touch each other's things. So that's where you're going to keep your things in the classroom. They all have a desk inside with the school supplies and books and everything. So we're trying to think about every little detail like that.
How would they social distance during recess?
Oh, socially distanced during recess. So right now, recess makes me a little bit nervous. I know that the regulations say we can use the playground. I'm not 100% there, to be honest. They have to be 12 feet apart if they have their masks, with their masks down, if they're running. So if they're distanced, their mask can be off and distance. If their mask on, could they play a little closer? Yes. Again, right now, super nervous about this. So each teacher is going to take their small group of 10 to 15 students out. And again, we're not mixing groups, and I'm not yet there saying we can go on the playground equipment. I feel like I need a little bit more time to process that. So we're going to be very cautious, but I think it is important to have them outside. PTA was going to purchase yoga mats for all 400 students. So again, maybe it's, we're sitting outside, we're on your yoga mat, we're, just spaced apart with the mats because they're 6 feet naturally spaced apart. And there's, other games or things going on that they can do just to get outside. So we're trying to think of creative things that you can do without just being on the playground.
Because kids will be eating in the classroom, are all classrooms going to be nut-free?
Yes, the school will be nut-free. Because everybody is eating in the classroom, we have to really account for the allergies. So Trish Gibbs will go over specifics with the classroom teacher and any restrictions, milk, dairy, things like that. But overall, in general, there are too many students who are peanut free. We are going to have to be a peanut-free school.
And could you please describe to the parents how the bathroom would go? This parent wants to know how many bathrooms that we have. Will children be monitored within the bathrooms?
Yeah.
What if the child has specific needs?
Yeah. So the bathroom is certainly tricky. I think there was about 15 of us sitting around the table figuring out how we were going to get everybody to the bathroom. Only 2 allowed in the bathroom at any given time. There are 6 different bathrooms for students. I'm going to have teacher aides, adults in the building monitoring each bathroom. There will be scheduled bathroom breaks, but yes, we know that there's going to be lots of times that kids go to the bathroom during a not during a break. So we are, looking at systems like, do you call the office and we radio someone to come down and help that child to the office or to the bathroom. Every child will be supervised to the bathroom. We're going to tackle that one. I don't even know how we're going to find all the bodies to do it, but bathrooms will be heavily monitored.
Another question on increased traffic on East Ave in the morning for drop-off. Will the police be assisting?
As I said, I am going to ask for police assistant as we get started for East Ave for drop-off. hopefully it goes smooth and we don't need them every day. But yes, in the beginning, yes, I'm calling them for their suggestions and to help us out.
Does DD need to be informed about decisions for high school students with, I'm assuming, distant learning?
So somebody asking about high school students, yes, if you have a transportation issue for a high school student, please call us. We definitely, again, Mike Goyer has been incredible, but trying to get on the phone with every school district to see how Averill Park is running high school versus East Greenbush and Troy and everything. So yeah, if you have a heads up on high school transportation, please call us.
How will children who receive extra services such as assistance in math and reading going to be handled?
Okay, so the push-in supports for students who receive special education services, those will continue to be pushed in the classroom or pulled out. Remedial services will look a little different, again, because I'm using my remedial teachers to create smaller classes. Right now, that's why we might redo some of the class lists, so perhaps that remedial teacher has the students that she would be seeing or he or would be seeing in remediation anyways. So the services will still be provided. They will just look a little different. For remedial, special ed will look very similar.
In third grade list, the amount of children in that class are going to be in 2 classrooms, or is third grade?
Third grade is 2 sections.
And they wanted to know how many children were in that classroom. They thought there were over 40 in that grade.
In third grade, I had numbers of 20 in a class, and then there are some students not returning in that class. So I believe my largest class is 18, could be 19.
And I have no other questions at this time.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. And again, this is not a one and done. This is not, if you have any question that I did not answer, you could send it through the email. I am answering them, sending them back. I am posting. We'll keep the Q&A going on the website. There are 2 more of these. Anytime I am available for any question, suggestion. But I promise you, you will have a lot more information by this Friday, for sure. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. Bye.